this week's parsha, of course, we have Kriyat Yamsuf, the splitting of the Sea of Reeds. The Jews at the right in front of the sea, they see Egypt coming, the Egyptian army coming after them, and they're in a quandary. They can't go forward because there's a sea. They can't go back because they're the Egyptians. And even though there are some Jews say we should fight the Egyptians, remember the Jews are rabble at this point. They're not a real army. And this is the Egyptian army. These guys are trained. They know what they're doing. So some say, let's go back to Egypt. It wasn't so bad. We could be slaves again. Another group says, let's just commit suicide, which there's no future in that. The third group says, let's fight. And Moshe, what does he do? He screams to God, what do I do now? And God says, shut up and get into the sea. Move forward. Don't quit screaming at me. It's a very strange response, but it gives a very basic idea of what's going on here. God is saying, look, up until now, I've been doing all the heavy lifting. It's time for you to start doing some of the lifting. And if you start, I will complete. Sort of like the old joke, a guy goes to the Western Wall every day, davens that he should win the lottery. He prays that he should win the lottery every day for years and years and years. Finally, the angels ask God, why don't you let this guy win the lottery? Look how much he wants to win it. And God says, I would, but first he has to buy a ticket. You have to do something to show that that God will take your side, but you have to show God that you're willing to do something too. It's not a one-way street. Just davening to Hashem, praying to Hashem is not enough. You got to get up and do it. Do something to show that you want to do it. And that's an important lesson for us today. As we know, there's a lot of things that's going on in the world, etc. But if we don't stand up for ourselves, God's going to say, oh, you don't want to protect yourselves? So why should I care? But God will send us help when we show that we are willing to do something to deserve it. Something to think about. Kaddish.